Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome back to Boz Comics. Thank you to everybody who sat through my little update video yesterday. Looks like I came back with a video today after all. I wanted to chat with you guys about Fire Force, which is an anime that started airing, I think, 2 years ago. The second season is going on right now. I think they're a little less than halfway through it. I watched the first episode originally way back 2 years ago. Well, geez, okay. Anything that takes place before the virus on the timeline, right, feels like forever ago at this point. Right. So I watched Fire Force when it first came out back in the day, and I really liked it then, and I always meant to like stay on it. But I wasn't really following anime week to week at the time, so it just kind of fell by the wayside. And today, it was just kind of a really good day, and I was thinking to myself, I want to find something to enjoy. So I thought, let me crack open the back catalog and maybe catch up on something. And I remember Fire Force as being like, based on those initial impressions, the true first impressions, right? Being this like really fucking like super shonen, like it was shonen as fuck, but with a unique twist because it was about firefighters. And I remember it being like kind of really wholesome and heroic, and I was definitely in the mood for that. So I went back to it, I sat down and I gave it a watch. I think I've watched the first 5 episodes of season 1 so far. So I just wanted to make kind of a quick, everything, when we talk about quickness here at Boz Comics, it's all very relative. So I wanted to make a relatively quick video about why Fire Force is really fucking awesome. Really, really hot, you might say. The kids might even call it fire, although I reject their modern lingo. I find it repulsive. Anyway, Fire Force is fucking awesome. So it takes place in an alternate world in which a great disaster had befallen the world sometime in the past. Spontaneous human combustion, which is a myth that has persisted throughout human history, is in fact a real thing in this setting. Except in this setting, spontaneous human combustion is the act of a human being just randomly turning into a hulking flame monster of doom and destruction. I think the very first shot of the first episode shows a guy just sitting on like, I forget if it was a bus or a subway. I think it was a bus. He's just sitting there, and a little tuft of smoke. He's just minding his business, and then a little tuft of smoke pops out the corner of his mouth, and he catches fire and explodes into this fiery demon and starts, turns into this mindless beast and starts sowing chaos about. So then Fire Force is called in, and the special Fire Force is comprised of a number of characters, chief among them being new recruits, Shinra. He's our main character. He's our point of view guy, and I'll talk about him in a minute. But so the idea behind Fire Force is that they're like kind of like they're like the SWAT that you call in to fight these. Oh God, I'm blanking on what they're called. Oh, not the engulfed. I feel really terrible. What are they called? Oh, I'm gonna think about it halfway through the review, but there's a term for these humans that turn into like flame demons, and I feel really obnoxious that I can't remember it. But anyway, Fire Force comes in to fight them, and fight them, I mean that quite literally. This is a shonen anime through and through. It takes firefighting, the term firefighting, to a whole new level. So like they'll actually engage with these fire demons and fight with them using like firefighter type paraphernalia. But then some of them are also pyrokinetics, like the main character Shinra. So they can, not only are they like attacking with like futuristic fire axes and like high power like water weapons and hoses and shit. The main character, for example, can generate explosive pyrokinetic force with his feet. So he can like shoot around, he can fly, he can do like flaming capoeira dance fighting. It's like fucking awesome. He can kick like a rocket. It's awesome. There's another guy who joins the team in like I think episode 2 or whatever, named Arthur, who is kind of a dweeb after my own heart because he's like obsessed with the idea of knighthood, right? So he's like styled himself after an Arthurian knight. He refers to himself as a knight king, and kind of not anthropomorphizes. I can't think of the word, but he kind of like transposes things around him. He imagines them being more in line with his like fantastical worldview. So like the fire station they work out of to him is not a fire station. It's a castle, right? And if he meets like a cool chick, you know, some fair like lady, right? The anime equivalent, he refers to them as a princess or a queen. It's sometimes it's obnoxious, other times it's kind of endearing, but I digress. But like, so he's cool. He's got that interesting kind of knightly motif going on, and his main weapon is a bladeless sword that he can use his own abilities to conjure up a blade of plasma, like a lightsaber, you might say, if you didn't want to get sued, or rather, if you didn't mind getting sued by Disney, you might call it a lightsaber. But it's just like this high end like plasma sword that can like cut through conceivably anything. It looks badass. You know, there's they're second in command at their fire station, whose name I don't recall, but he's cool. He's the guy with the glasses. His gimmick is he just carries around a regular old pistol, and he can control the combustion within the gun, so he can either like reduce the force of regular bullets and once they're fired and make them less lethal rounds, or he can like presumably, like he hasn't done this yet in what I've seen, but it kind of makes sense, so I'm just kind of assuming. I assume he can also like send the bullets out with like incredible penetrating force, far more than would be typical if they were just fired under normal circumstances. So it's shit like that. Like it's a plucky band of well-meaning firefighters literally fighting fires in true shonen style. Seeing all the high-tech firefighting equipment is awesome. They travel around in this like armored tank called the Matchbox, right? That's their fire truck. Let's see. There's like this religious component as well. So one of the members of the team is this nun named Iris. I think the faction she's originally a part of is called the Church of Soul. And they seem to kind of have this like so when people in the setting like turn into these creatures I can't remember the name of, Infernals, maybe? I think they might be called Infernals. When they turn into these Infernals, it's considered a great tragedy because there's no way to save them. And they don't have to do anything, at least as far as anyone knows from what I've seen so far. No spoilers in the comments. Please, please, please. When somebody turns into an infernal, it's a real tragedy because there's no saving them, and presumably they didn't do anything to deserve this or bring this on. It's why it's spontaneous human combustion. It literally just happens. You could just be minding your business. You could be 10, you could be 35, you could be 70, and they're just, I'm a flame monster. So it's considered to be this big tragedy. Just everyone involved is a victim. And so it seems that like a lot of these fire stations will have a member of this Church of Soul attached to their regiment to kind of give the victim, because they're treated as victims, these infernalized people, give them their last rites. And I am not religious myself, but I love seeing how religion affects a setting. I love seeing how it kind of like is woven into the tapestry of the day to day of the world that we're inhabiting through the course of the fiction. And there seems to be like a major conflict between like the Church of Soul, the Fire Force companies, and also I want to call them the Shinra Corporation, but that's not right. But there's like some big company at the heart of everything that like funds the technology that the Fire Force uses to fight against these Infernals. And it's made pretty clear pretty early on that they are not. Shocker, the corporation has its own nefarious ends. I know, surprising, right? The big corporation probably can't be trusted. Who knew? I'm bamboozled again. Um, but yeah, no, it's just cool shonen shit, man. It's a band of heroes in a unique context, trying to bring hope and safety to a setting that could have both of those things horribly upset at any time, presumably through no one's fault, like completely randomly. There's this, I think either the second or the third episode, they're called in to stop this. I think this person's father. There's like this young girl. She's like maybe like 13 or something. It's anime. I can never tell. But she's this young girl, and her father had turned. Oh no. Excuse me. No, her mother earlier had turned into an infernal at some point, maybe a few years ago. And then her dad turned. And so Fire Force is called in to deal with him, and she's like crying, and she's like beside herself, because not only has she lost both her parents now completely randomly to this like awful demonic process of turning into infernals, spontaneous human combustion, but she's also terrified, like, oh man, I'm going to be next. My mother and my father, both turned like this, and it could happen to me too. It can happen at any moment. And if it happened to my mom and dad, surely it's going to happen to me. And it's horrifying. Like that is a level of horror that I just can't. You could just be walking along. Like you have no idea when it's going to happen. It just will. It's just fuck. Everything I've ever known and loved is on fire, and I'm doomed now. Oh, this is wonderful. And the best thing I can hope for is that Fire Force will come along and end me so that my torment can end. There's implications that while these people, when they go infernal, and the flames are ravaging their body, like they've lost their sense of self, but they can feel the flames. They're still causing them pain while it's happening. I don't know if that's just a theory that they have, or if that's been like scientifically proven within the setting, but that's fucking awful, man. So you lose your sense of self, you turn on the people around you with no regard to who you were in life, and then like all the while you're in searing agony. Jesus Christ. Like, fuck. I don't know if the guy who wrote the manga this is based on, like, has any history to do with, like, firefighting, but I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't do any research on the creator, but that would not surprise me at all. So I guess the last thing I'll say is that the main character, Shinra, like, he's kind of interesting, right? So he, before the events of the series, his mother and his brother died in a horrible fire, and he thinks that there was some person or creature behind the fire that took them from him, in front of him. People blame him for what happened because he is, like I alluded to before, he's a powerful pyrokinetic. People blame him for what happened. And Shinra has this nervous tick where whenever he's tense or feeling some kind of unease, his face contorts into this like really toothy, almost animalistic grin. He's got like the Joker thing going on. And so people have taken to, between that and his fire powers, his crazy pyrotechnics, or pyrokinetics rather, people have taken to calling him a devil. And, they think he's this like horrible fire monster who like killed his family. But in reality, he's this guy who, because of his family tragedy, is just determined to save as many people as possible. Whereas Arthur, who I talked about before, is all like, I am a king knight, or a knight king, I think it is. I am a knight king, blah, blah, blah. And I'm a doofus. Shinra's kind of a doofus too, but I like him a little bit more, which is good because he's the main character. Shinra's whole thing is like, I will be a hero. I will be a hero, which is very anime. But as you guys know, watching this channel, I'm big into hero shit. It's like my jam. Anytime somebody stands up and is like, I will be a hero of justice and protect people, I'm like, you go, boo. So it really gets me right in the stuff I like. It's good shit. He's wholesome. He's got kind of a unique aesthetic going on. He is so likable without being like an ass kisser. He's just really friendly. He just wants to do a good job. He just wants to help people. You could argue it's kind of bland, but I think it's fine, especially if you're just looking for fun and wholesomeness. It's great. I was watching the English dub through Funimation Now. I know it's terrible, but I much prefer dubs. Dubs are my preferred way to consume the media. I know. I'm sorry. A whole bunch of you are going to unsubscribe now. Please forgive me. I know I'm unclean, but I do enjoy dubs, and I think the dub of Fire Force is excellent. I think Shinra, there's a real naturalistic quality to the voice actor's performance, and I think it really helps to sell everything. Everything about this is great. There's a couple doofy aspects so far that are just very anime, but when you've been watching this stuff for years, you kind of just take it in stride. You know, there's a point where it's less that it's bad writing and it's more just like, oh, this is just anime. This is just how anime works. But again, so it's just fun, wholesome hero shit while Shinra kind of integrates himself into this newfound family among his companions within Fire Force, while also trying to investigate this mystery of what really happened to his mother and brother all those years ago. So it's simplistic stuff. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing that you're gonna like have any deep, profound thoughts over. It's just a rollicking good time. It's a unique twist on shonen tropes. And I'm only 5 episodes in or so, but I really recommend it. So if you missed this show like I did when it first came out, I highly recommend that you do what I'm doing and you dive in. I don't think you will be disappointed. So that's where I'm going to leave this. Sorry, my phone is like going off and it really distracted me. Why do people insist on trying to talk to me? God damn. Hold on. Let me just make sure that's not my wife. Okay, we're good. Oh, suspected spam caller. Get fucked. Shut up. Okay. Ruining my exit. I could edit that out, but you guys don't come here for that kind of like pristine content, do you? No, you come for the raw, unfiltered shit. But anyway, Fire Force is cool. Go watch it. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little review. Please like, subscribe if you did. Here we talk about comics, anime, fucking manga, animation, arts. We talk about all the good shit here. So if you like this, if you want to join in, if you want to sign up for the Cool Kids Club, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button. I'll be happy to have you here. All right. Cool. Under 20 minutes. Woo. I think I'm getting better at this YouTube thing. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye-bye.